In the self-development and study tube space, you may find that a lot of the struggles stem from a lack of self-esteem, low confidence, and low self-belief. I myself, on my main channel, have about 200,000 subscribers, and I get so many comments about this. Like, students always say, I'm so afraid I'm gonna fail, or I don't have the confidence that I can do this. I try to get off my phone, but I don't know how to. Most of these problems, as you can see from the negative language, stem from the root cause of low self-esteem, low belief in yourself to be able to get through anything and to cheer yourself on. The right mindset is extremely important, just like I say all the time on this channel. It's about how you think, not always about how you act. But here's something funny I noticed on another side of YouTube. Just last week, I like some K-pop groups like Baby Monster, BTS, Blackpink. I was watching one of their videos, and in the comments, I see so many people going like, let's stream this as much as we can. Come on, guys, let's support Jennie. Let's support BTS. Let's support them and give more comments. Let's bring them to the top of the ranks. We have to show them our love. And I was surprised. I was like, wait a minute. This is a stark contrast from the kind of language and enthusiasm that people are commenting on my stuff. You support celebrities more than you support yourself. These commenters were cheering these K-pop groups on, being like, I'm ready to give it my all so I can stream your video and vote for you in this competition so then you can keep succeeding. And I was like, wow, if only more people had the same enthusiasm toward themselves. Thus got me thinking, because I think a lot, one of the most important fixes to low self-esteem, to lack of confidence, and even lack of time is to stop fangirling or stop fanboying. Stop fanboying. Either one. Stop putting people on a pedestal and cheering them on more than you cheer yourself on. When you are a big enough fan, you will be so determined and do everything in your power to support that person. You will go out of your way to find the optimal time to buy a concert ticket for $100, $200. Whether it's a celebrity, influencer, or sports team, you're going to be out there cheering, trying to lift them up when they fall down, being okay with their mistakes. So what if we had that same attitude of being your own biggest fan? Imagine the greater heights you can lift yourself up to. Even if you don't consider yourself a fanboy or fangirl, the concepts in this video will still be helpful and relevant to you. That's because the way our society is now, most people, including myself, are pressured to consume and focus on other people instead of ourselves. Think about it. You might spend more time each day looking at influencers online than you look at yourself and your life. We're constantly looking at others, giving our time, and even letting other people drain our emotions, making us feel bad about ourselves. We're pressured by content and ads to do things that we otherwise would not do. It's hard to be mindful and realize when we're not putting ourselves first in the moment. So it's even harder to prioritize yourself and stop over-consuming content and materialistic things. Interestingly, how much focus we put on other people and being influenced actually affects our self-esteem and confidence. Thus, the concepts I share today will shift your mindset and make it so much easier for you to focus on your dreams and achieve them. When you fangirl and are willing to spend so much time and energy on other people, you are at the same time making less of that energy available to yourself. As I will explain later, this isn't even to celebrities. You might also be putting your peers, even strangers, on pedestals without even realizing it. I found that one of the best ways you can become more confident, self-assured, and more successful is by putting yourself first. Get in the habit of prioritizing yourself. It was really hard for me too as a people pleaser, but you need to learn how to redirect the energy you're giving to other people to yourself. The first step to that is awareness. I came a long, long way on my own self-development and confidence journey, and now I don't even worry about people knowing the latest celebrity news or talking about this new show. There have been so many conversations with people where they start talking about like Stranger Things, or have you watched the latest episode? Do you know that this actor is now doing this? And I'm just unable to participate in the conversation, but I don't care because I'm like, I don't need to know what's happening to Ariana Grande. I don't need to know where Kim Kardashian is. These are just extremely irrelevant. At the end of the day, when you understand the value of yourself and your own energy, it doesn't matter what other people are doing and whether they know things that you don't, because you also will know things and have skills that they don't. Unless those celebrities affect my life or inspire me in some way, it's irrelevant. People may spend thousands of dollars on merch or anything that remotely relates to their favorite celebrity. These consumers are investing all of this into people they've never met before. And at the same time, they're unwilling to spend that same time, energy, and money on themselves. You going on TikTok or other social media, you may also be influenced by videos of hauls and other things, thinking, that seems pretty fun, maybe I should buy some too. But you have to take a step back and be like, if I can buy this hoodie for $100, then why did I not buy that math bootcamp course for $60 or however much it was? Like, all the money you spent on this celebrity could be allocated to something that improves your own life. It could even be a product that makes your life more convenient. Investing in yourself is the greatest investment you can make. When you develop your self-confidence and human capital through time, energy, and your habits, those are things that people can never take away from you. Like, no matter what happens in your life, if you have that within you, you're good. You are happy and you are safe. You have to realize that it can't depend on external factors. The only merch I've ever bought was last December. It was a Taylor Swift Eras Tour t-shirt. And I really like Taylor Swift. I've been listening to her ever since I was a little kid. But the reason I bought this was right after I read the Time magazine article where Taylor Swift talked about how she would run on a treadmill while singing at the top of her lungs for like an hour and a half every day. She was extremely dedicated to performing her best at the Eras Tour. When I watched the Eras Tour concert film in the movie theater, I was blown away. Like, how does this girl have the endurance? Like, how does she sing and dance for 3.5 hours live? No, like, lip syncing. Reading that article made me realize there's a reason for everything. She's not superhuman. She's so inspiring because she shows that this is the work it took for me to get here. It's not like it was easy for me. And I love that so much that I was like, I want this as a reminder. So that's why I bought the t-shirt. With this action of buying the t-shirt, it wasn't like, oh, I just wanted to support her. I just wanted to give her a few more dollars, even though she doesn't need the money. It was really for myself. It was for myself at the end of the day. And you need to also always put yourself at the forefront of your brain. Instead of cheering someone else on, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. When it comes to things you fangirl over, when they have an opponent or they have haters, you go out and defend them, right? You feel this sense of defensiveness to protect them. But what about yourself? If you have something that gets in your way of success, you should be blocking them out. You should be defending your energy and your ability to get what you want in life. But guess what? Every day, things like your phone, your distractions, perhaps that addicting show on Netflix are getting in the way of things you actually want to do, and you're just letting it happen. So if you were your greatest fan, like, you act toward other people, be at the front lines for yourself, fighting for yourself. Think about how kindly you treat your friends and how much you encourage other people. When you treat yourself like you're your biggest fan, that builds trust with yourself. That builds confidence. Instead of beating yourself up for a mistake or falling off of a good habit, take a step back and think about how you would support a friend going through that mistake, how you would cheer on your favorite sports team. Giving yourself grace and physically celebrating, like go out of your way to celebrate your achievements, will give you positive reinforcement. You are the single most important person in your life. It's time you start acting like it. When I was pursuing things like YouTube, trying to become valedictorian, there were a lot of people who didn't believe in me. There weren't people around me cheering me on every day, being like, you can do this. I had to be my own biggest cheerleader, because otherwise there's no way that I can make video after video when there are only 200 views. There's no way I can spend hours and hours of energy after my busy consulting job on a pursuit that no one else believes in. I have to give myself that belief, because I am the person who is always with me for every second that I'm working towards this thing. Similarly to buying the Taylor Swift t-shirt, I do enjoy certain things, like I go to concerts sometimes. I am a BTS army, #army, and I like certain actors and singers, but I enjoy those in ways that serve me, like in entertainment, and to inspire me when I hear about their journeys. Entertainment is value because we all need some entertainment in our lives to unwind and relax so that we can continue working hard when we have to turn it on. Beyond that, being too influenced by them to wear what they wear or buy what they tell you to buy, that's too much. That's too much of putting them in this whole other category of the human species, basically. Like, we need to realize that they're just humans at the end of the day, and you have a life, they have a life, so you need to focus on your own. And it seems like it's harder than ever to not put people on a pedestal because of social media. Not only do we see celebrities in concerts, music videos, and on TV shows, but we're constantly seeing other people who put themselves on a screen as if they are a celebrity, you know? Because a lot of influencers, they have to have a certain sense of self-importance to put them on the screen. And thus, we are kind of trained also as consumers to see that screen with that person on it and be like, whoa, they're cooler than me. We are so bombarded every day by content and social media and brands that are all telling us to invest in them instead of yourself. Because brands and influencers need to sell you things because that's how they make money. They're telling you to value these materialistic things above things that would actually benefit yourself. Here, I'm not including things like actually valuable courses that self-development people might make. Your attention is money. You letting your eyes be glued to that screen, scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, is giving them value because you are being influenced to put buying things and energy on them first instead of yourself. Because if you put the energy on yourself, then, well, sucks for the companies because now people aren't viewing their pointless content. No one is fully immune to this. Even myself, with this awareness that we're just being sold to all the time, I still find myself tempted constantly to buy something that I don't need. Like if I'm on Instagram and I see this girl wearing this beautiful dress or this video being like, this is cottagecore, this is the new aesthetic, I'm like, wow, maybe I should try that aesthetic. Or, that's a cool new trend that maybe I should hop on. But then I have to take a step back and be like, wait, I don't need to be cottagecore aesthetic. I don't even wear dresses a lot of the time. People complain saying social media all looks the same now. That's because people are all copying each other on social media. I go out onto the New York streets and every girl I pass by is wearing like the exact same outfit. But the people who copy and fangirl are the consumers. They are the vast majority. No one ever became super successful by copying, by jumping on a bandwagon. No one gets their dream life by constantly having a mob mentality and not putting themselves first. The most innovative, successful people in the tech space, for example, like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, so many people were criticizing their ideas, saying they're crazy. But if Steve Jobs and Elon Musk put other people on a pedestal and was like, oh, you must be right, or they had some mentor that they looked up to too much where they would even forfeit their own judgment, then we would not have the inventions of Apple like we see today. They believed in themselves so much and they cheered themselves on so much that they can go out against all odds, put in their all day after day to build their dreams. When you rely too much on other people's judgments, you are shifting your psychology away such that you will use your own brain less and trust it less. You have a unique set of strengths. And if you put other people above you, you are giving up your biggest advantage, as well as your ability to pave your own road to success. And guess what? At the end of the day, your own path will make you more satisfied and happier because you're honoring your values. We kind of have to always have this critical mindset whenever we're consuming something, because unless you can cut out consumption of content 100%, being mindful instead of mindless is the thing that's going to save you. In my own life, I do see a lot of evidence for how effective putting yourself first is, because that makes me able to happily say no to social events that I don't really want to be at. So then I can instead focus on myself. That makes me feel better about missing a football game because I want to study instead. That makes me more confident in the choices that I want to make, not because I'm peer pressured by something I see online. There are a lot of influencers and creators and YouTubers where they're not going to pull out a camera unless they're wearing like 2 layers of makeup. But right now, I'm like not wearing anything, you know? And I'm not saying that as to like brag and be like, oh, you know, pick me, girl. But it's just to say that, you know, it's okay if they wear makeup. That's what they like. I'm okay with not wearing makeup. Even though I wear makeup most of the time on my main channel, I found that the pressure of putting on makeup for every single video and looking the most presentable I can be created friction to even film and make a video. And then I decided, wait, I just have to make this video. I care so much about putting my thoughts out there that I can't let this be a barrier to that. I decided what I value more, and my choice is to do what I want to do and make videos without putting on makeup. So this is just an example that, like, if you have some resistance to doing something you want to do, consider whether that resistance is something that you can personally remove. Take a step back and consider whether barriers that you see right now are only social constructs. If they're social constructs, then whoop, get rid of those barriers. If you have dreams of creating YouTube videos, do it. It's amazing. The only barrier that many people have is that they're afraid of what other people think. But you see, that's also putting them on a pedestal, because who said that their opinion is more important than yours? How do you know that you're not going to be successful? If you believe in yourself, well then go out and do it. In fact, people who make fun of you for trying to do something cool like YouTube are never going to be the ones who are actually creative and entrepreneurial and extremely successful. Do you think Mr. Beast would make fun of you for trying to start a YouTube channel? No, because he knows that you have to start somewhere. He appreciates and admires people who go out there and try to do something other people call crazy. Don't take criticism from people who you don't look up to. Don't value their opinions or what they think. Those people who doubt you might be the same people who scroll giving strangers money and clout when those same consumers say they don't have time to work on themselves. They say they don't have time to study, to read, to build good relationships. If your peers are people who do invest in themselves, they will never judge you for following your dreams because they are doing the same thing. People consuming hours and hours of content are investing in someone else's dreams. They're investing in these influencers' dreams. But when you take a step back and go into your own real life, you're investing in your dreams. And then guess what? It's a win-win because when you're so invested in your dreams and your life, you won't even have time to scroll. You won't even have time to bother with the celebrity news or the latest trend bandwagon. It's funny because at the same time of talking about people on a screen, you're watching this on a screen where I am the one on the screen. So meta. When I said I had 200,000 subscribers on my main channel, what kind of feeling did that give you? I said it to give some credibility, to show my experience in the study tube and self-development space. But I think that oftentimes when we hear someone has a large following, we think, whoa, they're so cool. They're different from me. But I don't want you to think that because I'm just a regular person. When my friends call me an influencer, I'm like, no, don't use that word. And my point here is, just like I described earlier, it's pretty hard to not think so highly of people on screens. I know the feeling because when you watch someone on a screen, you almost feel like you know them, but it's a very one-sided relationship such that when you see them in real life, it's like an out-of-body experience. For example, I went to KCON, I think in 2022, and there was this dancer group, Ellen and Brian, who I really liked, and they were having a meet and greet. When we went up to take the photo with them, I just couldn't really speak normally. I wasn't very chill. If it was just a normal person who could dance, I might be like, hey, what did you think of Blackpink's comeback? Or I could just strike up a normal conversation. But my mind kind of just went blank and I was kind of nervous because seeing Ellen and Brian in real life felt surreal. After that, I was kind of disappointed in myself. Like, why didn't I just strike up a normal conversation? Like, why did I put them on a pedestal like that? So I do get it's really, really hard when we are trained to believe that the people we see behind a camera screen are somehow better than us. But you know what's crazy is when this experience extends to not only celebrities and influencers, but also to your peers and even strangers who you just met. In high school, I thought that all the popular and cool kids who go to football games all the time were just better than me. When I talked to them, I was so nervous, like, oh my gosh, what if I say the wrong thing? What are they thinking about me? Do they think I'm weird and uncool? When I walk by and they look at me, I'm like, oh my gosh, whoa. Like, isn't that so silly now that I think about it? They're just other high school kids. When I created an Instagram and a popular kid followed me back, I was like, oh my gosh, the validation that gave me. That's also why I was so nervous talking to strangers. In middle school, when I had to ask for directions for somewhere, I'd be so nervous. I just can't talk to people who I've never spoken to before because I'm like, oh, what if my voice comes out weird? Or how do I even say this? It's just such a crazy feeling when you don't have any confidence behind yourself. Like, you can't stand behind yourself. So now, having worked on myself and knowing what I'm capable of and appreciating my own strengths, I just think, wow, I really put people on pedestals for no reason at all. And you might have experienced something similar too. I think we pretty much all experience this to some extent. You need to step back and think, I don't even know this person. Why do I just assume that they're better than me in some way already? I know I have great qualities, and maybe I'm a fun person to be around. Maybe I know a lot about books, and that's some value I can bring. In fact, I'm excited to meet this person. I'm excited to talk to this stranger because perhaps we will have an amazing conversation and I can add something to their lives. Maybe they'll learn something cool from me. You need to think that way. You need to think and believe in the value you can provide. You need to believe in the value you already have intrinsically. Growing your confidence is a constant journey. I feel like it just gets easier as you grow older, not because you're more mature, but more so because after more and more instances, you kind of question why you were so unconfident. Even though I was more confident after college, I still struggled a lot when it came to starting to be a creator, when I started making YouTube videos. When I was a tiny creator, fewer than 10,000 subscribers, I don't know if that's tiny, but I think it was tiny at the time, I desperately wanted to make creator friends because it's very lonely, especially because I didn't know anyone else doing what I was doing. So I reached out very nervously to some bigger creators on Instagram. I DM'd them being like, hey, I love your stuff, very genuine comments, and do you want to chat sometime or do you want to meet here in the city sometime? I got ghosted a lot. I was hurt. But at the same time, I was like, oh, it's okay. They have 2,000 more followers than I do. That's why they're not replying. I don't deserve their time anyway. But then, once I grew more of a following, I did get more replies, but then I was like, wait, I'm still the same person that I was when I had a smaller following. Why are people putting themselves on a pedestal when they have a greater following? And I don't mean to generalize this to every influencer where like, oh, you should reply to every DM because now I understand you physically don't have the time. But I mean to literally peer creators who are in the same city, in the same niche, and are relatively close in following. It just blew my mind how many people hang on to those numbers. So then I started meeting people that I was watching on YouTube, and it was mind-blowing. I was really nervous for many interactions. And for several of them, I even felt disappointed at myself after the meeting because I was like, wow, I did not act like myself. I'm usually funnier than this. I'm usually more talkative than I was. So even so, I was kind of fangirling and putting people above me. But after doing this over and over again and going to more events, I realized they're literally just normal people because I have this many thousand subscribers now. I'm literally just a normal person. I'm just trying my best to make good content for people out there to be inspired by. I'm just doing what I love and enjoy, and I'm hoping that helps people. I'm just putting it out for everyone in the world to see. I think it takes that experience, that repetition to learn these kinds of things and have more confidence in yourself. But you know what's interesting? Believing that these YouTubers were just normal people was actually a huge factor for how I was able to start this YouTube channel. Because I thought, if they're a normal person and I'm a normal person and they have a YouTube channel and I want a YouTube channel, then I can make a YouTube channel and possibly grow it just like them. You have to believe in yourself and think, wait, what's so special about them? Why am I assuming that they have something that I don't, so then they can get this thing? If it's just that this successful person worked hard, leveraged opportunities, and cheered themselves on, why can't I do that too? In fact, before you say they have an advantage that you don't have, why don't you see if that's actually true? You can speculate that they had something special after you try your absolute all, instead of downright just rejecting the pursuit. You can't assume that dream is only for people like them, because then you're already forfeiting your chance of success. Here's a way to build your confidence in pursuing something that someone else has. Learn the process it took for them to get there. For example, I wanted to become a YouTuber. What I did was I searched up videos learning about the journey or how to become a YouTuber. Once I realized it's broken down into a series of steps like plan the video idea, edit, learn SEO, and these things, I felt like it was more manageable because I could see the steps laid in front of me. It's not just become a YouTuber, but instead it's write a script, film a video, perform SEO. Okay, I can do that. Those are little steps that I can follow that don't seem as daunting as become a successful YouTuber. Like, oh, that huge person that has 1 million subscribers. Like, oh, instead of thinking, how can I ever reach that? I learn what it took for them to get there and be like, oh, wait, I can do that too. It also really helped when I went into these big YouTubers' pages and I look at their oldest video and I see that it's 10 years ago and a really crappy video. And I think, wow, even though they're so huge and successful now, they also had to start from square one, just like I am starting now. So that means that I could potentially also go on a similar journey as long as I have the hard work and dedication. So for each dream that you have to, number one, put yourself first. That means not spending so much energy on fangirling and putting other people on pedestals. And number two, take action to learn the steps it takes to get there. Because once you combine your confidence with knowledge of the actual steps to take, then it feels easy and natural to start taking action. Once you have your goal broken into what you can do consistently for a week, a month, and a year, it all seems within reach. For each step you need to take, you have the confidence that you can take that step. Like for me, one of the steps is to write a script. Okay, if I'm confident in myself, then I know that I can take this single step. You also are able to do it consistently, because when you believe in yourself and you see the journey that someone else struggled through, that's a fire that will keep you going even when you're not seeing that many results yet. Take it from me. Before I got to 200K subscribers on my other channel, I was struggling for years, hardly getting views and not getting to 10,000 subscribers until like after 2.5 years. So now that you know I'm just a normal person who also struggled from zero trying to reach this impossible dream, now you know not to put me on a pedestal. When you start this video or click on another video I make, be like, she thinks she has good advice, but I'll be the judge of that. Thanks so much for being here and taking time to invest in yourself. I'm so proud of you. It's really hard sometimes to listen to long form content, but this is where the goodies are. That's where the gold nuggets are found. So let me know if you found this helpful. I love hearing your thoughts in the comments because you have great insights too. Believe in your ability to also give advice to yourself. Believe in your brain and your ideas and in your potential. Most of all, I hope you remember that you are enough and you deserve being put first. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Thank you.